Puyo here. First of all, thank you so much for 3K subscribers and more. I am extremely late, I know, but the amount of effort I put into this and the emotional turmoil I went through throughout the production process of this video made me feel that this is a worthy video to be the 3K sub special. Second of all, there's construction going on near my house, and I do not have enough clout to tell them I am fructose tolerant. I need to record a video, so I am sorry if you can hear the construction noises. Jokes aside, onto your scheduled programming. The book The Metamorphosis, written by author Franz Kafka and published in 1915, tells the story of a merchant, Gregor Samsa, wakes up one day to find out he has been transformed into a huge insect, and the story shows us how he struggles to adapt to his change in his form. The story explores the themes of identity, family, isolation, and of course, transformation. The reason why I start off this video like this is because the hit game Project Sekai Colorful Stage featuring Hatsune Miku references this book. In this video, I will be talking about my thoughts on the events that happened in the story, as well as analyzing the cards and song. And oh, if you've seen this thread on Twitter, that's written by yours truly, and I'll be using what I said there a lot in this video. To start us off with a bang and reference to my own thread, this event managed to tie itself with Mafuyu's two other events, that being Mirage of Light and Guarding a Lost Child. Mirage of Light, of course, has a Snow White's theme, with the apples being at the forefront of the symbolism put into it. As for the other event, that is Bug, which, like I said before, the Metamorphosis features a huge insect. We are talking about a bug in the literal sense here. Now onto the teaser of the event song. The song is called Samsa, composed by Teniwoha, with Samsa referring to the main character of the book previously mentioned. I feel the need to mention Teniwoha's works as well, who made a song Villain that also talks about identity, because the book Metamorphosis tackles the themes of identity as well. Back to talking about the trailer, I feel that each trailer for each commissioned song perfectly encapsulates the symbolism and themes for it as well as the cards. We see an apple slowly falling and being bitten into it, while the mirrors in the back show a reflection of a completely fresh apple. With each bite of the apple, the mirror gets even more cracked. At the end, we see the apple land on a hand with the fingers nails painted in the image colors of the Nigo members, with white Japanese irises blooming out from the cracks of the apple. I have a feeling, a hunch you may say, that the nail polish must mean something, but after getting distracted I couldn't find anything other than Limbus company referencing it in the first chapter of the game. Back onto topic, the book The Metamorphosis does feature apples and mirrors, with the apple being a symbol of the beginning of exile, as like in the Bible with Adam and Eve, an apple was thrown at Gregor by his father out of disgust for his appearance, as well as him being under the false assumption that Gregor attacked his mother, when in reality she fainted after seeing his new form. I should add on as well that the apple means escaping an abusive family, when you tie the exile bit to family. As for the mirrors, in the book, Gregor doesn't even bother looking at the mirror, thinking that it's all a nightmare. The mirror in this trailer song, however, is how Mafu Mom sees Mafuyu, the exact opposite of a rotten apple. The song cover is similar to this trailer, so I won't speak much about it. Now that we've discussed the song trailer, let us look at the full song to see what we can uncover from the lyrics. The following translation is provided by Numel and edited by Sukori, Aquatheories, and Tai1210, taken from the Project Sekai wiki. Write out my worn name, I dare to wave a kit to Ruby, and I turn frightening to the core, enough to defeat even the cunning. How do I look now? Slightly? Oh, I see. Please don't throw apples at me. It's lodged somewhere in my chest. Samsa. The first line uses the word kitsch to describe a ruby. This is an oxymoron, as kitsch things are mainly enjoyed ironically, whereas an ruby symbolizes power and authority. There is some loathing to this line, as if to laugh at his own misery. The last line refers to how Gregor Samsa in the book had apples thrown at him by his family, which hurt him emotionally and physically, with one of the apples being lodged into his body and staying there decaying. The line is sung by Kanade, who doesn't want to feel the same rejection again, with the effects of it already with her permanently. I find it fitting that Mitsuki sings the line, referring to an unsightly appearance as well. When I look into the mirror, someone whispers, "It's been going well, it's a bargain. Even sweet words and smiles won't get through me. Now that I've started running, I am a beast." While wandering the night under the moon throughout the night, I was thinking, which finger should I point at with my nightmare? The first line is sort of acceptance to the form of Gregor, or in Mafuyu's case, her rebellion, as in the original book. As said, Gregor didn't even bother looking at the mirror, because he thought it was all a nightmare. The second line refers to Gregor Samsa's occupation before becoming a huge insect, as he was a traveling salesman. which is referenced in the line, "It's the bargain." The line, "Now that I started running, I am beast," is sung by Kaito in the personification of Mafi's anger, with Kaito identifying himself, and in turn as a beast, an outcast from the Asahina family. The last line is Mafi actually acknowledging the nightmare situation she is in. Throbbing, 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 throbbing. Throbbing, 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 change. Throbbing, throbbing, throbbing painfully. Kaito is the one mainly singing throbbing here, which refers to the throbbing of a heart when someone is in pain. This is the physical heart, like how Mafi is realizing that there's a real problem. Kanade changes it all literally by singing the line "Shame," as she and the rest of Nigo genuinely want to help Mafi out. It still ends with Kaito singing "throbbing, throbbing, throbbing painfully," as if there is no end to this nightmare. Everyone's soul has now barely managed to throb painfully. The pain and the affectionate babbling were just troublesome. But why is my soul still throbbing now, throbbing painfully? It feels like I was biting into an apple, Samsa. The line talking about the soul is like Mafi is starting to feel genuine emotions. I am a bit confused by the other lines, however. As the last line, I can definitely say it's Mafi rebelling, like when Adam and Eve took a bite out of the apple. Let me know in the comments what you think of the rest of the lines, though. I'll always be here for you, even if I'm just a helpless shadow of my former self. Even if I'm poisoned by the fringe iris, light will shine and the clock strikes 25:1. Now drag your tail on and go Samsa. So now don't say you've had enough of reality, okay, Samsa? Kanade sings the first line as she wants to help Mafi, of course, even if she is a shadow of her former self before her trauma. It might also refer to the charm woman in the Metamorphosis, who is an elderly widow who faces Gregor without disgust. Even though she is quite old and can't work as efficiently as before, she is still helping out Gregor. The second line is talking about fringe iris flowers, which I'll be referred to as Japanese iris flowers from now on, is sung by Mafiu, with Japanese iris flowers being poisonous, especially their roots. In my Mafiu video, I talked about how the plants were taking over Mafiu's body, like how Mafiu is controlling her actions, her dreams, everything. This gives me images of Mafiu's roots, aka Mafiu Mom, poisoning her. The line after that, of course, refers to the name of Nigo. The last line of this verse is Kanade telling Mafiu to never give up. The song, of course, ends with throbbing and Samsa, which I've already explained. I think the song is really good. Banger song indeed. I really like the references to the book the song was named after and the incorporation of Japanese flowers into the theme of Mafiu and Mother Nature constricting her. This nature theme can also be seen in Mafiu's cards Mirage of Lights, as well as Vogue. Overall, the song has a lot of repetition, like how if the cycle of generational trauma doesn't stop with Mafiu, it will continue on forever. More on this later in this video. My lovely fructases from the Work in Progress stream also have said it's like Mafiu being dragged back into the depths because of Mafiu Mom. Before I forget, and I am very forgetful, I want to talk about Samsa's 3D MV. The completely white background before it fades into the usual background is like how Mafiu World was completely empty before Needle came in. The kitschy old TV screen may refer to Mafiu Mom's old-fashioned way of viewing the world. These TV screens, of course, have images of the main motifs of the song displayed on them. The song ends with the computer screen being shut off, showing Mafiu Mom's intentions of her shutting off Mafiu from the rest of Nigo. I already talked about 2 cards not from this event, so now it's time to do the exact opposite. Of course, I'll be starting with Kanade's card as this is her focus. But before that, I want to talk about some general themes that these cards use for symbolism, as well as the names of the gacha and the event. The event's name, as everyone knows, is Immiscible Discord. Immiscible meaning 2 liquids that can't mix, which is Nigo and Mafiu Mom. The Discord part has many meanings. It can mean a disagreement, which is what Kanade and Mafiu Mom have right now. It can be a reference to the app that Nigo used to communicate, which is Discord, in real life, and in music it means lack of harmony. Now onto the cards. These cards are from Mafiu Mom's perspective, and the flowers are from the song, which are Japanese white irises. Japanese white irises are poisonous, but are associated with purifying evil, which is what Kanade is doing. And also a fun detail that I noticed with all of the Nigo members except for Mafiu is that they all have a hat on. This shows everyone except for Mafiu has authority over their own lives. The dark parts of the cards look like inverted colors. As in Mafiu Mom's eyes, it looks like Nico is turning Mafiu's perfect world upside down. Kanade's card is her in a classical western room which is something quite aristocratic, aka something that Mafu Mom deems as worthy, as we have seen in the Portray Yourself card. More on this later. If you want to see it, leave a comment down below. I hate being a YouTuber. This is the mindset of Mafu Mom manifested into a house. The displayed butterflies and flowers make me think that Mafu is a trophy to her mother, to be seen and not heard. Kaneda looks soulless in this card, that is only because this is viewed from Mafu Mom's perspective. In her eyes, Mafu is the weak butterfly being held captive in the cage, when in reality it is Mafu who is projected by Kaneda, but she's still trapped nonetheless. Something interesting to note is that Kaneda's hand is on the lid. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Kaneda doesn't want Mafu to end up like the butterflies on the wall. While they are pretty, they are dead. The butterfly alive, however, represents a hope still alive. Kaneda having the biggest hat is Mafu's mother, seeing that Kaneda shouldn't have much authority over Mafu, when in reality it is the opposite. I love this card. I love the colors, I love how rough it feels. The textures make it look dark and mysterious, like how Mafu Mom sees Nigo as an unknown threat to Mafu and her perfect world. On to Enna's card. She's in a classroom, which is like the furs on the table in the Metamorphosis, referring to Mafu's past life as a perfect student. Enna's colors are really bright, like how in nature poisonous animals are colored brightly. To Mafu Mom, the doodles on the textbooks are worthless and have no artistic value because they aren't the Mona Lisa. Despite all this, she does it anyway because who wouldn't want to doodle in their textbooks? It's still art. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but in the case of Mafu Mom, she has no taste. The drawings in the textbooks are references to the lines in the song Samsa. We have a moon for the line. While wandering right under the moon all throughout the night, I was thinking, we of course have the apple, mirror, and flowers as well. Flowers are crawling around the school desks, quote-unquote purifying them. She is not sitting on the chair. That's how rebellious she is. If I was at my old school, I would be killed for that. Now we proceed to Mizuki's card. In here, we see what looks like them luring Mafu into the candy store. The doors that separate the candy store and Mafu Mom's world have a heart with a web in the middle, which is like how Mafu Mom says her way of quote-unquote protecting Mafu is out of love, but she's trapping her. The door with the web may also be Mafu Mom seeing Mizuki as a spider, who is going to trap Mafu up forever, as seen by the sweater web gloves they are wearing as well. In Mafu Mom's eyes, the sleeves that are on Mizuki's outfit are rainbow, like how some animals use color to lure their prey. This also matches how it looks like Mizuki is luring Mafu into a candy store, something that isn't good for a child's health, even though a child would enjoy being in a candy store loads. A fun note to note is that the other Nigo members are the three balloons to the left. Before going to talk about Nigo Kaito's card, I want to talk about the 2-star Mafu. In Mafu Mom's eyes, he's just an innocent child who is powerless, literally shown by the rarity of the card itself. The one being targeted by the rest of Nigo's absolutely horrifying antics. She is in pain, which transfers from the story, and this event morphs into anger. And this anger is manifested into the final virtual singer to complete Nigo's virtual singer collection, Nigo Kaito. The vibes that I get from this Kaito card remind me of the bug set. This is also fitting, as the official 3-day MV uses Nigo's lens bug outfit. Kaito is shrouded in the Japanese white irises, as if they were to purify his negative emotions. His outfit is similar to Nigo Miku's, while it's being more darker, representing her trauma. Him wearing his harness incorrectly shows his frustration with what he has been given. Kaito is very angry, as he is the manifestation of Mafu's anger and the frustration, as we can see by the story moments that he appears in. Speaking of story, let's now talk about the story of Immiscible Discord. The main star of this event is the face reveal of Mafu Mom, as before the event she is faceless. I have seen some people say that this is because Mafu sees Mafu Mom as a force, and a nifted being with extreme powers over her life. But in the case of Kanade, who has a confrontation against Mafu, she's just human, and a very despicable one as well. Another highlight of this, of course, is Nigo Kaito appearing. He's blunt and harsh, but he's correct about what he is saying. Mafu Mom has an eerie quality to her. This doesn't mean she qualifies for anything good, of course. She dresses like Mafu, she speaks, she acts, she's so eerily similar to Mafu, it's like we are peeping into an alternate reality. That reality being, what if Mafu never met Nigo? What if she had her own character erased, and instead, what we are seeing is a former shell of a person instead? Mafu Mom is in control of the entire situation. from before it even began by choosing the venue to her calm demeanor throughout the confrontation. We understand why Mafia is so scared of defying her mother, because we too are scared of her. I was on the edge of my seat when she was going through Mafi's computer, crossing my fingers, hoping that she didn't find anything Nigo related until she inevitably did. And at that moment, I wanted to scream so loud it would wake up all of my neighbors. With that all being said, I want to talk about the saying, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and how this correlates with what I said before. I think the Asahina family is going through what we call generational trauma. This is explored in the movie Encanto. Basically, in Presify terms, Mafu is being pressured by Mafu mom, who in turn was pressured by Mafu grandma because she didn't know any better, so on and so forth. When Kanade outright insults Mafu mom, she just kept a happy expression, as if she wasn't allowed to express her other emotions when she was a child. To me, my theory is that Mafu mom is so controlling over her daughter's life and is living through it as if when she was a child she had the same thing done to her. This does not justify her actions though, of course. In English, at least, as in Thai, we also have a saying similar to that saying, without the apple part being specified. I find the apple being used being quite significant, as we have seen from the use of it in the themes that the Metamorphosis references, as well as the one in the Mirage of Light. Apples hold a great deal of significance to Mafu's character theme, as they were once her child's favorite food back then, when she actually had her own preferences and her own character over herself. While you may feel that this event is more like a Mafu focus, it is important to remember that it is Kanade who is confronting Mafu mom. It took a lot of courage for her, and shows the development of her using her memories she had with her family and using them to power through the confrontation. These memories, while once painful, are now used as a source of power. The moments these memories came through to her was when she realized that Mafu mom never cared for Mafu at all, because Kanade has actually experienced genuine love for her parents. As for the reason why Kanade is the one to confront Mafu mom, instead of, let's say, Ena or Mizuki, here are the reasons why I think that is so. Nigo's leader is Kanade, and with the entirety of Nigo being at risk at the hands of the same person who has been destroying Mafi's personality as a whole, she would of course be worried, be angry. She would feel and does feel a flurry of emotion because of what leads up to the confrontation. From her genuinely considering what Mafu mom says and what is best to Mafu, to her saying she will unwaveringly be at Mafu's side. Ena too would be too hot-headed, and Mafu mom has already heard what she sounds like. Mizuki would beat around the bush. Kanade is straightforward while not getting too angry. I want to talk about Kanade's drip here. Her stepping out of her comfort zone for the sake of Nigo is physically shown to us by her not wearing her usual tracksuit. She knows she needs to dress in a way that Mafu mom would take her seriously. She doesn't want Nigo to be seen as a joke to Mafu mom, as if she doesn't already see them like that. She's dressed to impress, literally. Kanade is handling the situation deathly seriously, and it shows. I completely forgot to talk about the untrained part of Kanade's, so I will do so here. The atmosphere is cold, it's grim. Kanade's outer jacket contrasts the shirt she is wearing inside. It makes me think the artist wanted for Kanade's pure white intentions to be seen past Mafu mom's predisposition of her and the rest of Nigo. Enough of the tinfoil hat, let's go to the summary. Overall, this event blew my mind. I didn't expect to see the references to the Metamorphosis at all, and the songs and the cards had vibes that are on the same wavelength, to which I am very happy about. Seeing Kanade come this far is a delight, and as I have my own memories that were painful, but now I use them to power through life. I'm really impressed by how scary Mafu mom was, so props to the writers for that. I'm looking forward to the next Mafu Focus event, hopefully coming soon. I'm also impressed by the boatload of symbolism and everything about the set. This is simply my cup of tea. As I titled the script, Immiscible Discord has to be one of, if not my favorite event of all time, tied with Kick It Up a Notch. The following video is for Project Celestial Rays, a group where we talk about gacha games and stuff. Feel free to check us out on Instagram. Special thanks to those who came and visited my 2 work in progress streams. Let me know in the comments below. I keep saying that, but please bear with me. If you want me to stream live while writing my scripts more, we have a Discord where you can come and discuss. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Also, if you liked the video, a subscribe would really help. Auto-tune cry, insert here, editor for